Okay, so we are good. So yeah, I had some fun in the theater yesterday. Found out some interesting things. Um, one of which might be a bug in Athena's end that they might not actually realize.
Oh,
Um, but um, but yeah, so found some interesting stuff. I've got a couple new patients. So
Okay.
hi guys,
Hi.
I'm Daryl. Like Colleen said, I'm head of business development for Access Integrity. We're the creators of IntegraCoder. Who do we have on the line here?
We have Max. I'm the business manager here at Georgia Surgicare, and one of our billing personnel, Justin. So far with this one, we have the rest of the team members are caught up with patients at the moment.
Okay, that's fair.
Uh, we can go on.
Okay, great. I'm recording the meeting, so if anybody else in your organization wants to see it later, I can easily get it to you. So,
Excellent.
so
Max, at your practice there, who does the medical coding? Is it the providers? Do you have scribes, or is it the medical coding people?
As,
How do you guys do that?
as the provider, they basically create the chart, and then we have the billing personnel that just submits the claims.
okay, so to that end, do you have the provider uh, uh, deliver at least like a diagnostic code or something like that, or does the entire thing go to the coding staff?
No, the providers put in the diagnostic codes and the CPT codes,
Oh, so they
but
all the codes. Okay.
we're looking to a system where would have someone take care of all those services, pretty much.
Okay. So, all right, great. Well, that sounds like something. I mean, IntegraCoder isn't an autocoder, but we certainly can assist greatly in this sort of thing. So, so to that end, I assume you're familiar with the Athena uh, uh, user interface. So we'll just go into a patient, and these are real notes that you're going to see. They're fake patients. We don't get any kind of HIPAA information on our end, but the actual text of the notes are real. So just from the outset, so after the provider gets done with the chart and the ordering or entering the information into Athena, then you're at this stage, and you know the provider has to go through all of this anyway. And so at the very end, all they have to do is click on our software. And so what it's doing right now, it's reading.
Excuse me, Daryl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Max, you notice that Consult IntegraCoder. That link will appear if you sign up for the free trial.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see it on your screen unless you utilize IntegraCoder services. But once you do, it'll be right there on the screen for you.
That's great.
Okay. Okay. So it'll be embedded in the system.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's no need to rewrite notes.
Yeah, absolutely not. And we're fully integrated in Athena, so we can pull from basically any piece of the EHR. And so if you guys, if you have doctors who put things in, I'm having a hard time here this morning. So if you guys have, you know, people putting information into odd fields, we can easily we can easily change things to pull that information. So there's a lot of, we're really flexible in that way. And you know, the only problem now is getting my getting Athena to work for me. So I'm having some technical difficulties this morning, which is frustrating. But what it does is it reads the EHR, it reads that text, and analyzes it for the context around keywords, that then deliver coding suggestions for ICD-10, and I apparently can't show it to you. This is
Right.
really frustrating.
Do you have any other demo you can show him, like even the one on the website?
Right, even if it's a static demo.
Sure, yeah. Let me try one more time, and then I'll go over to that. I really apologize.
I have to
Fine.
tell you, Max, I honestly have never seen this before. This is on Athena's end.
Bye bye.
Oh.
And I was having problems with Athena earlier this morning too. So okay, fair enough. Let's go to the static demo. It's about a 10-minute demo, and I'll talk you through what's going on.
Okay.
I'll keep the sound down on it so that you can ask questions and things like that. Okay, great. Well, thanks for having us, and we're really where's my full screen on this?
I usually just click twice on the face page there.
Yeah, it's not happening. Oh, there it goes. And hopefully it's not always this blurry, but hopefully it clears out. But anyway, so yeah, here it goes. So same thing as you see. There's a number of places. What you're going to see here is a number of places that Consult IntegraCoder button sets. So we go through, we get encounter reasons, chief complaints as sort of templated stuff, review of system, past medical history, assessment plan, procedure stuff, and those are the main things that we analyze for. But like I said, if for some reason everything went into family history, I mean, we could just pull that for you. So in any case, you go into Consult IntegraCoder, and this is what I'm trying to show you. So this is a list of the encounters that that this particular patient has had. Nowadays, because this is a little outdated, we actually have a full timestamp. So on that. So as you can see, you see the documentation on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side. You see the codes that come up. The keywords that are being triggered are highlighted in there so that you can see it, so that you can sort of document and see the where it's coming from. And this is again in ICD-10, in CBT, in PICS, and then CMS has to keep ICD-9 active for at least the time being for the sake of audits. But all of the technology works the same for each of those, and so all you have to do is, once you're satisfied that the diagnosis is right, chief complaint is relevant, all of that, you can see more information about the codes if you highlight over them, and then all you have to do is click this plus button on the right, and then it pulls it down into the assessed field. So, and then this will work a little differently later, which I'll explain to you, which is not part of the video, because we've done a few we've had a few upgrades in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
That I need to re-record this regardless, but this gives you a good idea of the basic plan of what's going on. So when you choose a CPT code, you can also go in and see the dashboard, which gives you the global days and the RVUs. And these are set up for they're set up for your zip code specifically. So so you can see in general what you might get paid, and then you can see specifically for your area what your payout is. So this allows you to sort of see and choose the code that's going to, given the documentation is correct, that's going to get you the best reimbursement. So if you don't,
the maximum payout.
Yeah, the maximum payout. So if you don't see what you like in here, you can also go in and search through. So if you thought if there was angina in here, as it's shown on the video, you can go and search for that, and then you can add from this if you didn't see what if our stuff didn't deliver what you expected it to, as you can see there. So if that's the case, that it didn't return, the button at the top right-hand corner of the screen, it's two people talking, so it's a little bit, it's not the clearest thing in the world to me. But, so, sorry, this is the book view. So you can go in and see the entire ICD-10 or CPT or HCPCS databases and scroll all the way through it. And again, you can select from here, but it allows you to see what's around it and get the most specific code, which is especially relevant right now since October 1st, the grace period for ICD-10 ends. You know, so so providers are going to need to get more specific on their codes, and IntegraCoder, with both the recommendation and the research tools, is really going to button that down for you guys. So anyway, as I was saying, with the feedback button, you can type into the box that pops up exactly what you thought was supposed to return, and that comes directly to me, and I can go in and look at that and make a change that, unlike some other coding tools, isn't a programmatic change that takes weeks to deliver. I can go in and change something, and Colleen's seen me do this live. I can go in and change something and have a global fix for a problem that we have in our system within minutes.
Yeah. Max, I didn't believe him, so I made him show me. Prove it. But he could do it. It's very quick and agile coding to work with.
So, as we go back to this, sorry, did you have a question?
No, carry on.
Okay, so I was just going to say, so along with the CPT stuff, we also show common modifiers and show the information there, you know, the background information. And so all you have to do is add the ICD-10 code, add your CPT code, add your HCPCS code, and granted these are a few clicks, but as I've experienced personally in the Athena EHR, finding just plain old trying to find your proper ICD-10 code, it can be a pain. And so we have one thing that we have that's really powerful is what we call the scrub tool, which compares what you've done to the note and to a large set of a large data set that we have for facility setting relevancy, for place of service, for a whole slew of different categories to tell you basically whether or not what you're submitting is going to get paid out. Now, so you see on the screen here, you've got these red X's which say, no, this is not the right code. And we're not coders on ours, so we get a lot of mistakes. But then you have the green check mark that tells you that's good, and then the yellow exclamation points are warnings that you may want to look at it and think about it. So what it allows you to do is go through the process of saying, all right, this isn't going to get paid, so what did we do wrong? Is it the wrong code that we're selecting? Maybe the documentation doesn't show exactly what we did. So it allows you to go through and verify your work before submission, so there isn't a problem after submission.
So basically cleans it out.
Yeah, it really does. And we have also what you aren't seeing here, and I'll talk about it for a second because it's we think a really powerful tool. So I'm going to pause this real fast and go back for a second. So on the left-hand side, next to the scrub button, what we show now is a button that we call EMDoc. And it's currently in beta, but it's usable, and we're really getting some great feedback on it. And it's it's an evaluation and management calculator. And this isn't represented anywhere in the video, and because Athena's not working properly, I can't show it to you. But let me explain. And I would love to show it to you once Athena's back working. And obviously, if you get signed up for the demo, you'll have full access to it. So what we found when we got in with Athena, everybody was afraid of the ICD-10 conversion, last October.
Right.
But obviously, it's been a year and the sky didn't fall. Everybody kept sick and going to the doctor, and those doctors had to go ahead and code. So there was nothing anybody could do about it. What we found, though, was after that ended, the real problem that everybody was having with coding in EHRs was evaluation and management. And I bet you guys can sympathize. E&M is one of the most complicated things I've ever seen in my life. And so we decided to tackle it in an interesting way that takes instead of it being like with Athena's E&M calculator is a question and answer session. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? And in the end, it gives you a code that you can add in, but there's no way for you to look at the documentation and compare it to that to see if it's actually right. And I know, and I'm sure you guys know, that what auditors go after immediately as soon as they're put onto a practice is their evaluation and management coding, because it's arbitrary. And so what we decided to do was look at the note itself, look at the actual text, and build a calculator out of that. So what EMDoc does when you click on it is it takes all the different elements from the Athena EHR that are relevant to the E&M section: review system, examination, history of present illness, a large number of different fields in the E&M or relevant to the E&M, and not only delivers a code, it'll deliver you a chart that shows you in each of the three facets of E&M, examination, history, and risk and decision making, and what level each of those are.
Hold on 1 minute, Daryl.
Go ahead.
Max, did you get the flyer, the brochure that I emailed you? The one that was the E&M?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
yeah.
So if you look at that, you'll see the three different sections.
Right. Good. And so with each of those, you can click on the specific part of those, whether that's in examination, whether that's location or context or what have you, and see exactly where in the documentation the evidence for you coding it this way exists. So that if an auditor comes in and says, well, why did you code this a 99225 instead of a 99212, which is what it should have been, or they think it should have been, you can go into the documentation and say specifically, well, there's this here, and there's this here, and there's this here, and all, as you said, as you can see with blood being highlighted on the screen right now, the text that's being called for that specific part of the E&M coding is highlighted. So you always have the proof of documentation. And because this is cloud-based, all of your notes in Athena are analyzable forever. I mean, as long as you're part of Athena. And this is for past and future clients. We're just calling to the Athena EHR. So anything that you've already done, we can analyze as well. So you can audit yourself in the past and see how well you've done, and change things going forward. There's a whole lot of flexibility in what you can actually do between IntegraCoder and EMDoc in making your documentation stronger, and what we believe is the stronger the documentation, the more evidence you have for the better, the stronger payout. So in the end, I'll restart the video here, but there's what you're going to see kind of a redundancy as far as it goes right now. So do you guys have any questions right now?
What is that feature called again, the EMDoc?
EMDoc, which is evaluation and management documentation. is essentially what that stands for.
Okay.
And again,
That would be,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
that would be available if we get the IntegraCoder.
Yes, that is fully available to you guys. It's in beta technically, but we aren't currently charging for it and aren't necessarily in the future planning on it. So it's mostly a tool for you guys, for our IntegraCoder users to use, and sort of we're trying to make it better. E&M is a complicated issue, and so it's not perfect, which is why we call it beta. But it's extremely helpful to practices we've found. So here you can see the feedback button again. This comes as an email directly to me, and I can again change things in minutes. So it's a really flexible system, and as I said, it's a global fix. This isn't just for your particular node. Any fix that I do is going to be for the entire user base and the user base going forward.
Hello?
Hello, did I lose you?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're back online.
okay. I was just saying that I don't know when you cut out, but I was just saying to answer your question, and we'll cut it here because this stuff isn't exactly relevant anymore. We've been playing around with our pricing. So the pricing you see here is no longer isn't exactly where we're at right now. What we're offering is sort of an early adopter discount of $50 a month per provider, and then $30 a month for mid levels. So that's $600 a year, and $3,600 for mid levels, or $360, sorry, for mid levels per year. So
Can you, Daryl, can you give me that pricing again?
we're charging, it's overall $600 per year, which is $50 a month per year
Per provider.
per provider, and then $30 a month per mid level. So, and then that all comes with a 30-day no obligation trial. We'd love to get you guys hooked up. I mean, there's really no decision to be made. All we need is your agreement, and you can get started, you know, for a full month, looking at your documentation and seeing if IntegraCoder works for you. You know, it's we aren't taking any payment information from you or anything like that. It's not like an auto pay. So would love to just get you set up, even with a couple of your providers, just to see in this 30 days if it's going to work for you guys.
Yeah, that way you can take it for the, you know, proverbial test drive. And
Right.
Great help it's going to be, and the more time the providers are going to have with their patients as opposed to sitting there and coding,
Right.
which is never a popular thing.
No.
Um,
And I think what you're going to find right away, and it's really a benefit right now because we're just over 2 weeks away from the October 1st turnover, is how much more specific we get without having to go around. And I know from in the Athena selector how many clicks it is to get to your specific code, and how frustrating it can be as a non-coder, and doctors are non-coders, as I think
Right.
we know, and how frustrating that can be, and how much more specific with how much less work that we deliver. So in the end, all we need from you guys is for you to, and I can send this to you directly, Colleen can as well, the authorization and consent form for Athena, which is standard procedure on their end, and then it takes them about 3 days to get hooked up. So this being Wednesday, probably see you hooked up by Monday. It takes us an hour to get you guys hooked up. So
So it's more with Athena than on our side, the hold up. But then you can get your providers ready for it.
And if you'd like,
So
during,
we could have this set up before we go live on Athena. Is that what you're saying?
so when do you go live with Athena?
We'll be on the 3rd October.
October 3rd? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually great. That's even better because we can get you hooked up before you go live, and that way, one of the issues that we've found sometimes is adoption. People are used to doing things a certain way. If you guys are just getting onto Athena, then there's no use to doing it a certain. Getting used to, there's no certain way that people are doing it. So.
There isn't that muscle memory already. You know, they can just start off with IntegraCoder.
I think that's great.
Right.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So yeah, let me send that to you. Do you have any other questions while since we're done with the demos as it goes?
Yeah. You
And
could send over the contract so we can review it with our team here.
Okay.
that would be perfect, Max. And any kind of training, Daryl and I'll be, holding the hands.
So how many?
Right.
But you're going to find it so user-friendly. It's something you're going to be able to pick up on quick.
How many providers are in the practice?
We've got 5 so far.
Okay, great. That's.
Do you have any mid-levels?
Yes, we
Like
do.
physician assistants?
Yeah.
Cool. What I'd like to do is sometime once we'll set it up after the ANC form is signed and you're officially hooked up with the software. What I'd like to do is conduct a webinar for your entire team and
Okay.
show them exactly like all the different places where we are, all the different ways you can use it, what it's all good for. That way they're not flailing around getting frustrated in something they don't understand, because I guarantee they're going to be frustrated with Athena as it stands. Athena's a good program, and it's one of the best EHRs out there. It still has its frustrations, and that's what we're here for. So I want to make sure from the outset that they're on board with how we actually make this easier rather than trying to complicate things for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to demo side by side what the difference would be having run through Athena versus IntegraCoder.
Excellent examples of this at the ready that I can show you. So if Athena was working, I would show them to you right now. But I have to figure that out. But that's going to be the rest of my day. But anyway, yeah, I will be happy to show you the difference. All your people the difference. So once we get set up, maybe in that first week, I would love to get all your people together for a 30-minute session and sit down and just show them. That 30 minutes is going to save them a lot of time on the back end.
Absolutely. We can. Go ahead, Colin. Oh, okay. We can definitely set up a demo session with all the providers.
Awesome.
And the rest of the entire team.
That's awesome. That sounds fantastic. Okay, so to that end, today I will send you the link to the ANC form. Super innocuous form. It's really just your practice ID and your basic information. It's mostly just to say that Athena is allowed to send us the text in the EHR to our servers. That's really all it is. So once that's signed, like I said, once that's signed, I get an email right away. So I'll get the ball rolling on our end. I would love to see you guys hooked up by Monday or sometime early next week, and then we can get the ball rolling. And yeah, I'll give you whatever support you need in that, especially in that first month, but going forward as well, obviously.
Yeah, because they don't get hooked up, Max. It's correct. October 3rd is your hookup date with Athena, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So we'll work out all of the details once you're signed up for the trial. And you know, like I said, you'll be able to use it freely. You'll be able to use EMDoc freely. There isn't any kind of cap on the number. So if you want to go back and run a bunch of old encounters and see how they look, free to do that. Anything you need to do, and anything you'd like to do, just let me know, let Colleen know, and we'll be happy to put stuff in place for you. So, you know, we'll just want to, you know, talk to you, see how things are going, and get your feedback as we go forward on this, because you know, our software.
Your feedback's very important to us, Max. We really want to make sure that the client is happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we want to ultimately maximize our payout.
And I think you're going to see that with this is especially true because you guys are outpatient surgery, so everything you're doing is procedural based, and so
Yep.
payout's extra important.
Yeah, and the quicker that you can, the faster you can get that revenue cycle, the better it is for your business as a whole.
So yeah, I think we're in a good
Absolutely.
Max. I think we're in a really good place to help you. So I'll go ahead and send that ANC form.
Do you have any numbers showing projections as to how encoders?
Our projection for how we look to it, we're looking at a number of about a 30% increase in coding efficiency, which is leading to you know, really is leading to hundreds and even thousands of dollars in additional reimbursables, and with the E&M coder. We're still figuring out some numbers on that, but what we're finding is that some practices are admitting to really only coding at about a 30% accuracy rate on E&M, and what happens, as you know, is that, you know, people are afraid to overcode because that causes audits, so they purposely undercode. But undercoding is malpractice, and so you really have to get into that sweet spot. And IntegraCoder, the application of IntegraCoder, really points you into that sweet spot where, again, because you can prove what you've actually done in there, allows you to code more accurately, which prevents that whole problem of getting paid less for your E&M. Just because you're afraid of audits. Like it really takes a lot of that fear away. So again, we're still working on numbers for what EMDoc's doing, but we're really confident that that it's going to dramatically improve that side of coding.
Yeah, it'll be great if you could share some really hard numbers with the team on the next provider demo.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do what I can on that. I get some real hard numbers for you on that. Yeah, I will get you the information today, all the ANC information today. As soon as you guys get set up, you know, we can get started. Like I said, it's no obligation. We'll talk about how paying is going to work in the within these next 30 days while you figure out whether it works for you or not. So.
Right. Max, the other thing to keep in mind, sometimes it's not just about the dollar amount, which I'm a capitalist, that's very important, but it's also the frustration level, and the providers and everybody else who's using this are not going to get as frustrated with, you know, just having to fill out the EHR, because they're going to get to the code, so you're going to have less frustration and better enjoyment of their job, which is what you're aiming at also from a human resource standpoint.
Makes sense. Our goal is to be able to free up the providers so they can do what they do best, is caring for a patient.
Yeah. We really want doctors to be doctors. And even though there are important things about, you know, electronic health records are important, and having that record keeping is important, having that documentation is important. What's really important is that the doctors are providing for patients, and we're really helping do that. Yeah, If you guys have any other questions, yeah, let me know. Otherwise, I will send you this stuff this morning, and let's get the ball rolling on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get the ball rolling. I think we're off to a good start here, Colin and Daryl.
That's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, I'll get that to you today. If you have any questions, once you see it, just let me or Colleen know. And we're both available, so just let us know what you need.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to that email, and as soon as I get it, I'll be working on, like I said, setting up a meeting for the providers and the rest of the billing team and staff.
Awesome. That's fantastic, Max.
Okay, thank you for your time, Max. We really appreciate you allowing us to show you this demo.
Appreciate you, Colleen and Daryl.
All right, thanks, Max. You'll hear from me soon.
Take care.
Okay.
All right,
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. And Daryl, you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't mind sharing that video, that would be awesome too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I apologize that we couldn't actually do it live, but at least the conversation's live. Yeah, I will get that video to you as soon as I download it.
Awesome. Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Take
Thanks.
care, Max. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Daryl, you still there?
Yep. So,
Okay, you want to end the recording?
yeah, I'll end the recording.